Day 2 of the Bel Air motor build on the Bel Air. I did go ahead and clean up the surfaces on the block just because the air compressor was going and it was noisy. But yeah, I like to use these little plastic things. They come in different colors. They're kind of like different grit, I guess. I like them for cleaning up surfaces on the like head surface and the gasket surface. I like them a lot better than these, like little Scotch-Brite things. Anyway, the Scotch-Brite things throw grit and little fuzzies all over the place, and it'll get in the motor. Well, you don't want that. So the little plastic things don't do too bad at throwing stuff around. They just work a lot better, and they're plastic. They're not coarse sandpaper getting thrown into the engine. But I did find some gaskets. There are some things that we need to order. I don't know where the head gaskets went. They have to be here somewhere. So I think we're gonna open the cam box. Cam box. Get some lifters soaking and start popping those in there. Probably put the valley cover on. I need gaskets for that too. Anyway, we'll need an oil pump. I found the water pump. We'll just get as many gaskets as we can get on today. We'll get started on getting some lifters in, I guess. I haven't got to find that. What can I do with the bucket? Timing chain, cam. Oh, I need to put new cam bearings in. I have some of those lying around. I got 4 sets. 4 sets of cam bearings, but there is 2 different sizes to these. Between the older motors and the newer motors, so I gotta make sure I got the right part number for this motor. Alright, so we have this new cam plate, new lifter holders. Here's the lifters. Get a little cup, pour some oil in it. Then you take your lifters and then just plop them in there. I don't typically soak mine too long. I don't know how long you guys like to soak your lifters, but I just do a few hours maybe. Then once you get all those in there, nice and submerged and soaking, set them off to the side. I think we'll start doing the cam bearings, pulling those out and then putting the new ones in. We'll make sure I got some room back here for that one. I'll go grab that cam bearing puller. Here's that cam bearing tool. I don't know if you guys ever seen one, but you pound on this side. This side goes in the end of the block, and then you unscrew this and then put it in each bearing that you want in or out. And grab yourself a good BFH. And we're gonna flip the block over. Now the tricky part about this is you gotta unscrew the end and then get it in. Oh, maybe. What in the world? Okay. Then you just insert the rod in there. Twist it down. Slide it into the bearing. I don't know if you can see that down in there, but that rod going horizontal is the pusher, and then the bearing will come out on this side. You want to slide that cone in there, and you're not going to hurt the old bearing. Keep a solid pressure on that cone. Just like that, it's out. Here's that bearing. I'll show you. Why I'm replacing them. So try and see that goldish color? That means it's getting down into the bearing. And then this side, see how it's black? It changes to black. It means that side of the bearing wasn't touching the cam. These are just aluminum or brass. Just really a bushing, not much of a bearing. But yeah, that's you don't want to put a new cam in and then have that. Won't be good. Alright, so we'll do the next one. This is that cone I'm talking about. Right there. You want to put your hand up against this and then keep pressure on it. So then you just undo your end. Pull your tool out and then turn it around. You gotta kind of have the motor at an angle because of the cherry picker, or not the cherry picker, the engine stand. Now we have 3 this way. Okay, I'll show you the difference between the old style carrier cam bearings and newer style. Not really sure why they changed them or they did what they did, but I'll show you these and we'll start putting them in. Here is a newer style, and here is a older style. Might not look too much different, but you get them side by side. This one's the newer one, and this one is the older one. This one's thicker, one's bigger around. Except for the middle one, number 3. It takes like this, the old style sized bearing, which makes 0 sense. So you gotta make sure they're numbered. They're numbered on the side here. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe. Those little markings are numbers, and it says 1, 2, 3. The third one goes in the middle, and it has to. Otherwise, it'll just slip right through the block or does not go in. And then you can't obviously put the number 1 or number 2 in there because it probably get ruined. So without further ado, we'll try and jam these things in there. We're gonna mark the oil hole, either one. Only one lines up. So you wanna mark it right on the edge. And it's a pretty big thing like I was showing you guys earlier. Just mark each hole right on the edge, and then we'll get it lined up in there. So there's our mark right there, and then there's our oil gallery, oil gully. But I already did it, but take a little oil, go around that, and then I'll take a little oil and go around the cam bearing tool. So we'll get that set up, and we'll go with the mark right in the middle of this hole right here. Get some light, maybe. Yeah. See how that will line up? I'll move it over and then pound it in. Just take a little oil from your lifters that are soaking and just put on this tool. And then slide it all the way in. Okay, that looks good. And you just tap it in. Just tap it in. Pull your tool out, look at it. See how much farther it needs to go. I'll go a little more. Okay, our hole's lined up. I went not right up to the edge, but almost close to it. So then we'll just go along and do the rest of these guys. This is your first time doing this, I'd probably recommend taking the crank out just because it's a lot easier and just less to really mess up. So now that we're that far, we're gonna take the cam bearing tool and turn it around and put the other two in, just because you don't want the tool to be all wonky on the end. That means you gotta pull the end of this off and shove it all in there at once. And screw it back in. That ain't fun. It is not. Stay up there. Stay. I think these last two are probably about the worst, because you gotta be careful of the other bearings, and then you gotta finesse it in there. Got it started. Check it. Looking good. Okay. Then you gotta unscrew this tool. That'll be done. Then try and fish it out. Okay, fish it out. Now, all should be well. All the bearings look good. All the oil holes are lined up. That's what it should look like. All the way down through there, all the lines are lined up. New bearings. Now we'll try and slide the cam in. Go ahead and slide the cam in and see if it fits. You'll know right away if you bent a bearing, because the cam won't be straight and it won't go in. Ask me how I know. Okay. You want to get yourself some assembly lube. Doesn't really matter what it is, because it'll be all washed down anyway. You're just wanting to keep that nice and tacky before you start it up, or prime it. Get your cam handle ready. Alright, so this is the back, and this is the front. The front's always got a little dowel on it for the cam gear. You're just going to take that assembly lube and goop it right on there. All the lobes, where the bearings go, goop it on there good. Rub it around. Make a mess on the floor. Don't drop it. Try not to drop it anyway, because it is slippery. All right, we'll put more on it when we go to put the lifters in too. I like to dab a lot on the first one. It'll scrape it off, but it'll be better for the rest of them that go in. So Get your first one started. Then just kind of twist it around. And then go in more to your next one. Nice and easy. You'll feel it. There's your next one. Then get your cam handle. And then go into your second to last one. You want to go slow, because remember those bearings are only aluminum. Alright. So once you get it in there, I had to take my gloves off. It was getting a little too slippery. Once you get it all the way in there, I like to use the cam gear to turn it. Alright, remember to take that off. Now, you don't want to push it too far because the back is open and these slide all the way through. So just remember that. With that assembly lube on there, it'll stay pretty stationary. So, and then we can drop our lifters in. Then take your soaking lifters. I like these because they sit right in the piston hole. Take your lifters and slide them on down in there. You want the roller to go even with the cam lobe, so like this needs to be up and down. Okay. Then take your lifter trays, get them all lined up. Put some new bolts in there and torque them down. I gotta find the new bolts. I like to use a little blue Loctite on these lifter trays. You don't have to, but I like to, because you don't want them coming out. I just set them in there. I don't torque them down yet, and I'll roll it over. Hey, and do the other side. Whew. That needs lubed up. Grab your lifter bucket again. Start putting them in. Whoa, slippery little fellas. That's why sometimes I take my gloves off, because you don't want me dropping these on the floor and then picking up all the rocks and everything else that's around. Pieces of wood, metal shavings. Alright, we'll save this bucket for later or for our next project. Put our lifter trays in. Now these lifters and lifter trays have like a slot in them, and then the lifter just slides into that. So you want to make sure they're seated down in there. And you'll know because it sits right on top of the block. Like that. Put your bolts in. Turns out I had a hole in my glove anyway, so my finger got all oily. Yeah, that's my luck. It's my luck. Can't remember what these are torqued down to. 18 foot-pounds or 106 inch-pounds? It is 106 inch-pounds. I'm gonna go ahead and put this valley cover plate on. Here's the knock sensor boot that goes in here. I do like to put Loctite on these, right around it. Just makes for a better seal and gives me a reason to sleep at night, I guess. You don't need much. This is a little dab will do ya. Okay. Some of this other stuff. Yeah. Find yourself a socket. Flip it inside out if you can. Put an extension on it. Get this guy started. And just tap it in there. Wipe your excess stuff off. They look nice and even. Brand new gasket. There's only one way this can go. Put a little oil in there, just wipe some up from like around the motor. Because there's plenty all over the floor and what have you. Put a little oil in there. And these slide down over the knock sensor little ports thing. I don't know what you call them really. Okay. These are torqued to 18 foot-pounds, I believe. Brand new knock sensors. I put a little dab of do-ya on the threads also. You don't want them to vibrate out. I mean, that's their job, is to find vibration, so. These are 7/8. Then when I go to paint this, I'll probably, I have some extra covers I'll put over that, or just tape it off. All right, there's that. Now we can come around to the front. Yeah. I need a light over here. And we can go ahead and put this thrust plate on for the cam. Comes with new bolts, and the new thrust plate has a gasket in it. A lot of people, I think, reuse these or try to reuse them. You'll lose a bunch of oil pressure if you don't use a new one. That gasket will just get shot and whatever, but these already have Loctite on them. They can only go one way. I think these are torqued to like 11 foot-pounds or something like that. I just go to like 10 or 12. The other ones I think are like 25 foot-pounds. Okay. Now we got that on. We can try and get this cam gear off. Take a 3-jaw puller and then you just try and hammer it off there. Like so. After you heat it up, it should slide right off. This is a special one because it's ground down to fit in there. I don't know if they make a special one for this, but that's how I do it. You clean it up. Looks good, looks good. Rotate this around. The key's on the top. Then you take your new one, put it on there. Take your old one and your old bolt. Press your new one on. Just like that. It's always good to keep those around. Make sure it's up against there. You'll hear it. It'll ching-a-ling-a-ling. And then your cam gear. Set that on there. I like to Loctite my cam gear bolts. Timing chain. A little dab will do ya. Whoop. Put it right in there. Okay. That looks good. Might do some research on this to make sure that is the timing mark. They don't have just a dot, which I don't understand that, but maybe I'm not supposed to. Torque specs anywhere from 18 to 22 or 25. Okay. There's that. There is that. Clean all this up, get them fuzzies off there. Get your new oil pump. I like to squirt some of that assembly lube down in there. And get it all lubed around. You don't want a dry oil pump at startup. You can use your old timing gear to turn that, because it will get hard. Just get it all up in there. You'll be able to see it. You got enough or not. She's already coming out, so that's good. That means it's pumping it. And then slide her on. Throw your bolts in. This is a milling pump, just an OEM oil pump. Nothing fancy. And these are 18 foot-pounds. There's that. I did look this up, this comp cam gear set and timing chain. That is the timing mark. I don't know why it's a U-shaped unicorn hoof, but whatever. Now I think we'll get the front cover. We need a new seal for that. Okay, just pop this front cover seal out of there. And depending on how long it's been in there, it might give you a little bit of a fight. This one's fighting me. Whoa. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's why it wouldn't come out of there. A little crusty. Clean this ridge up where it's gonna go. Okay. Then I Put Loctite on these also. Find yourself a socket. And whack it in there. All right. Clean it off, because this is going to get painted along with the other stuff. Get a couple bolts started. You don't want to tighten these all the way down because you got to adjust it for your oil pan. Like that, don't do that. Okay. Now go and grab the rear cover, put a seal in it quick, I'll be right back. Okay, here's the rear seal. Get new gasket, new plate. I'm gonna wipe that off a little bit because it is oily. Tightening some bolts with my fingers. Need a ratcheting electric thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Last night I threw a chair off the top. Don't remember much, but I know I got cuffed. Alright, so enough joking around. Flip this over. Yeah. Yeah. And set that on there. Ah, I got my finger in it. And your pan. I think that's good. Your long ones go in the back. These are like 106 inch-pounds or something like that. I'm kind of mad they didn't send new bolts. Like what is the deal? Okay, got all the bolts in. Cinch some of these side pan bolts down. and then pull your cover bolts up. And then you can go through and tighten all those down. Okay. Oh, I gotta put that in. Ah! Put a little sealant of some sort on your oil filter thing. Yeah. I'll be painting this, the block, the front cover, not the oil pan. I'm gonna clean them bolts up. Even though they're in there, you can pull them out and clean them up, put it back in, retorque it. It's not gonna hurt nothing. All right, so that's about it. Put some oil on it. Get down in the pan. Right like that. Right like that. That way you're not wasting perfectly good oil. So we got this halfway put back together. Lifters in it, cams in it, oil pans on, front cover, rear cover. I think it all turned out pretty good. Next time you'll see this motor, I guess. We're gonna be redoing the heads. We're gonna pull the valves out. We might do a quick old school valve lap on it. Or we're gonna put new springs and retainers in from Comp Cam here. There's retainers and seals, retainers, springs, push rods. But I am gonna go get something to eat. Call it a day. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, next time we'll be putting the heads together and then hopefully putting them on. And then I'll be cleaning the block up and then I'll paint that. I did forget that I have to do the headers, but I have to cut those and then I'll probably put them on the motor and stuff like that. But yeah, but thanks for watching. Subscribe. I'm on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Remember, your project ain't gonna get itself done, so get out there and work on it, or maybe find one. You don't have to tell the wife. See y'all later.